this is Melanie, movie maven gal for Pardesi. I just saw a delightful Telugu romantic comedy tonight. The film starred Sharwanand and Mehreen, and it is Mahanubhavudu. Anyway, that means great man, and the main character played by Sharwanand has OCD. And I was trying to think to myself, what other Hollywood romantic comedies maybe have had a character with OCD? And Felix Unger from The Odd Couple is the obvious one. Jack Nicholson played one in As Good as It Gets. It's sort of a romantic comedy, sort of not. But anyway, not as straight up romantic as this film was. It was a laugh riot. I was lucky enough to see it with a pretty full theater of people. And I think especially because at a certain point in the film, Sharwanand's character who is just obsessed with cleanliness, is constantly putting on hand sanitizer, is just, just crazy about if a waiter has even dripped a little food on the table level of cleanliness, and then is forced to visit his fiance's village where there's no bathroom for the men, and he just freaks out. And my audience of NRIs were laughing it up. So it was really, really funny, and it was great to see a comedy with a full audience who was really laughing at all the jokes. I don't know that I got all the wordplay, but the Sharwanand actor was so funny in this role. I mean, he was just playing this precise character, and then that's the central problem of his romance, is that he is crippled in some ways by this OCD, and there's a crisis moment when his fiancée needs his help because her father is ill, and he just can't, he has a panic attack, and he can't cope with the situation of what happens. And she feels that he's let her down, and she wants, so that is the crux of the issue. The young woman, Mehreen Pirzada, I have seen her in Filori, where she played the bride in Filori. She was very funny in that. I think she's really good with comedy. I could see she wasn't quite as confident on screen as Sharwanand is, but still I thought she did a pretty good job. And they had decent chemistry together. The songs were okay. I'm not going to say that any of them really sent me. They were decent. They were films. One of them was filmed and it looked like an Eastern European country, and I was fascinated by all the white dancers who just seemed to not quite know what to do with themselves while Sharwanand was lip syncing along to the music. But that's neither here nor there. It was just my own amusement. My favorite character actor, and he is in so many of these comedy films, is Vennela Kishore. I love him, and he was particularly good. I'm not sure if he was the friend of the main character or his cousin or what exactly, but they had just this great comedy thing going back and forth between the two of them, and all of his little side comments like, okay, wait until the bride wait until your fiance finds out about this, and they were just hilarious together. I just love him and everything. He is so funny. And I was really pleased when I saw first when he came on the screen. I was like, oh, great, here he is. Nassar plays the fiance's father. I always love Nassar. So he is, he gets to ham it up in some big scenes, and he was very good. I don't really want to spoil this movie at all because it's just so fun to see how all the jokes play out. I just think it was such an interesting premise to have a hero who is so overcome with OCD, and then that's what he has to overcome to win over his lady love, to win over his fiance. And so that was really interesting. you know, because I'm not sure that I have seen it to that extent before. So I've certainly never seen it, I don't think, in an Indian film. So I thought it was a really original, something fresh to see, and the way it was executed was amazing. Amazing. It was a really good script. Maruthi Dasari both wrote and directed the film, and I don't believe I've seen any of his other work before. I really was impressed with what a good comedy it was. You know, this is a absolutely clean, family-friendly movie. In fact, that's what I saw what their tagline was, a clean film, you know, which is very funny based on the OCD obsession with cleanliness that the main character has. And just, you know, there's so many little details of how that the main actor Sharwanand got to do with showing his toothbrush routine of having to use bottled water and then using the hair dryer on the toothbrush.
నాకు OCD ఉంది. OCD అంటే బీటెక్ ఎంటెక్ లాంటి డిగ్రీలు కాదు.
Just so many little funny details. But you know, it was also serious that this was something that was keeping him from connecting with another person. And you know, even to the point of kissing is an issue, you know, like, oh my God, there's germs. I do have to say, just as my own comment, is that at one point his mother has had a cold and she's upset that he won't take food from her hand, and I'm not sure I would either take food from my mother's hand if she's had a cold for a couple of days. Just saying. I would highly recommend you try to catch this movie in the theaters because it was a riot. It was just a really enjoyable romantic comedy. Heartily recommend. Heartily recommend. It was certainly a lot funnier and a lot more enjoyable than Jadwa 2, even if the songs and the dancing wasn't quite the same level as Varun Dhawan. Please press that like button, share, comment. I want to hear what you thought about the movie if you happen to have seen it. And what are other favorite films with Sharwanand? Because it's my first time with him and he was really great. And please follow us on Twitter at Pardesi YT.